we said initially that the overall capital required for that business is divided into smaller chunks called shares of rupees 1 each or rupees 10 each. Now those shares are traded on the exchange because whoever wants to sell should be able to sell, whoever wants to buy should be able to buy, right? Then we said that based on the profitability or growth of a particular sector or a company, its share prices will be going up or will decrease, right? What it means is the share which was initially priced at 10 rupees or 1 rupee is now priced at, say, if the sector is doing well or a company doing well, it is priced at, say, 14 rupees or 20 rupees or 100 rupees, whatever, depending upon a company or a sector, or it could be less. Okay. So now the initial capital was calculated based on the initial value of each share multiplied by the number of shares, which means 10 rupees if we consider as, or 1 rupee say, if we consider as the initial value of those shares, and the number of shares are equivalent to the number of rupees required as capital. Okay, and now if that 1 rupee share is available at, say, 15 rupees, is priced at 15 rupees, the total capital of the company is 15 times the initial capital. That is what is called market capital. Okay, the capital of the company at the market price. Okay, so we say now the index starts. Market cap equals price multiplied by number of shares. See, now if we look at all these 10 stocks and their prices, the problem could be that this stock has only, say, 1000 shares issued. 1000 I write here. Is 1000. This stock may have 100,000. Okay. This stock may have only 2000. Another stock may have 1 million. Okay, this one say 1 million. Which means, just by looking at price, it doesn't give a very good picture of the overall market value, okay, of various stocks. To find the market value, the actual amount traded, we need to find the market cap of each stock. And if you look at market cap, it will give us a better picture of the price in two stocks. Because based on a bigger stock may have bigger value being traded, or a smaller stock may have smaller value being traded, which will give us a better picture. So that is why we multiply price with market cap for all the stocks, okay, and then we say, okay, for all of them, and then we say, here we will say market cap on day 1 and market cap on day 2. Okay. Now if we compare, we may get a different picture, because now the prices have gone up depending on which stock's price has gone up or which stock's price has gone down. The market cap may have a different picture to tell, different story to tell. Price of this stock C has gone up, but it has only 200 shares issued. Again, here the price has gone down with 1 million shares. So the overall market value has gone down significantly here. It has gone down by 1 million. Here it has gone down by 100,000. whereas it has gone up only by 2000. So even if the overall prices may have gone up or down, market cap may have a different story to tell, which will give us a better picture, and this comparison is called market cap method. Yeah. Okay, now there is still a little problem. What I will do, I will go and modify the formula now here. So individual market cap is this, right? But the cumulative market cap is here, which is a sum of all these market caps of individual stocks, right? Which means summation here, stocks n equals 1 to n equals 10, because here we have 10 stocks. Okay, we are summing up. Okay. Now the problem is the market cap number may be huge. 79 lakhs, 21,000, sorry. That is the market cap. We are still in lakhs only. Actually, in market, it's in hundreds or thousands of crores. Okay. So we will have that big number. उसे zero count करने में 10 सेकंड लगेगा. कितना zero है उसमें? ठीक है ना? So there is a problem. We can't comprehend that number easily, right? So we need a smaller number to compare, then first comprehending that one long number, then comprehending that another long number for day 2, then comparing both of them and finding out the difference without Excel being available, right? There is a problem. So we need a smaller number. So then what we say, on day 1, whatever is the market cap, for me it is 1000. And based on tomorrow, whatever number I get tomorrow, I'll compare it with this 1000 today and find out. So now what I have to do is, I have to treat this number as 1000. So I have to find some common denominator for comparing value tomorrow, right? So now if that is my index value, okay. So I say my index value on day 1 is 1000, which is summation of market caps of all the stocks, all the 10 stocks, right? On day 1, which is this number. Okay. So to get the common denominator, okay, I have to have some denominator here, okay, which will come by dividing this market cap by the index on day 1. But if I want to treat this market cap on day 1 as 1000, what is the number that I will have to use as divisor for that market cap? Okay? That is what is divisor on day 1. This is the formula for a market cap, simple market cap index. This value 1000 is known as base value of the index. Okay. This day 1 is known as base days of that index. In case of our system, this number of shares is called TIS. Stands for total issued shares. Now the next problem is, here we are considering the whole market cap of each stock, okay, which is traded in the market. But the problem is, out of this all the number of shares issued, one investor or a few investors may be holding some particular number of shares which are not available for trading on exchanges. Okay, for example, in case of Wipro, Mr. Ajit Premji holds 80% of this. Okay, and which means these 80% or 800,000 shares of Wipro are not available for trading or for investment by anybody else in Wipro. Okay? So if we consider this whole 100,000 of Wipro in our index, it gives a distorted picture. Okay? It doesn't tell the true story. Because if someone says, I want to buy all 100,000, not available, right? For example, if this is Microsoft, okay, richest guy in the world holds 75% of Microsoft. Okay, Bill Gates is not going to sell his share of Microsoft, and if he does, share prices will fall down. Okay, again changing the whole index. This is ONGC. Government of India holds 80%. Okay, we should not be considering these number of shares while calculating our index, because if you do that, it gives a distorted picture. It also includes shares which are not available for investment or for trading in the market, and our index is supposed to represent the market. So if we consider something that is not in the market as part of a market indicator, an index is also called a market indicator, the indicator will show the distorted picture. So to take care of this problem, what we do, we say let me consider only part of the shares which are available in the market for trading, and this number of shares available for trading or for investment in the market are called free float. Okay, are called free float, which is a free float, freely floating shares in the market, or in our case it is called investable weight factor, IWF. So then we say my free float in case of Wipro is only 20% or 0.2. Okay, right? In case of Microsoft it is 0.25. In case of ONGC it is again 0.2. Okay, so now to only consider free float, I will multiply this market cap with free float or investable weight factor, and this method of computing index is called free float method or adjusted market cap method, because we are adjusting the market cap. Okay, so my formula for index is slightly different now.